Hello friends, this is Vijay Bambwani, and in this video I want to talk about a topic which I'm sure is close to every Indian's heart: bullion. Now I've deliberately titled this video as "Is Bullion Rising?" Some of you might wonder if I've had a change of heart and I'm doubting the rally in bullion after advocating a buy on bullion ever since I started appearing on Equity Masters YouTube channel in the middle of 2019. No, Vijay Bambwani is not having a change of heart. My viewpoint in bullion remains constant, but the reason why I have titled this video "Is Bullion Rising?" is because I want to take you through the machinery, the moving parts that's basically taking bullion higher, and you will realize that it's not just the price of bullion that's rising, but it's the price of something else in relative comparison which is falling, which is why bullion is rising. If you've cared to see the 1 hour 20-minute odd live stream presentation that I did in the beginning of April, which is there in this playlist, why gold and silver are great buys in 2021, I've laid out the comprehensive thought process behind why I have advocated what. Of course, there was some very entertaining feedback from some trolls, abusive in nature, but extremely entertaining. Said, look, silver is just not used in 5G. It's a matter of you Google searching and finding out that switching systems in 5G, electrical harnesses in electric vehicles, etc., will use silver extensively. So keep even your flaming and trolling comments coming. Of course, this particular gentleman was clever enough to delete his comments once silver crossed 70,000. But it's welcome. Keep it coming. So now take a look at the chart of gold. You will see that it's showing signs of rising after kind of peaking out late last year in August. And it's rising out of a bearish channel, whereas silver's chart, on the other hand, is showing you that it's breaking out of a triangle, right? And once the due tug of war, which is very likely between bulls and bears, whenever there is a breakout coming, the bears will try to hammer the prices, and whenever there's a breakdown coming, the bulls will try to defend the prices. This is the usual give and take in any market. So you will see some volatility going forward, but whenever a clear and confirmed final breakout occurs, you will see that the targets that I have been giving in the case of silver, which is 80,000 rupees by end of December 2021 and 85,000 rupees by end of December 2022, will look so very achievable, because silver's already seen 74,000 plus levels as I record this video on the morning of 18th of May. Of course, it will be uploaded on 19th May after due editing and post-production process. Gold, I maintained that would hit 60,000 by the end of December 2021 and 65,000 by end of December 2022. My overseas friends, please note, unlike the US and Europe, we Indians trade our bullion in slightly different metrics. When I'm talking of silver at 85,000 rupees, I'm not talking about troy ounces. I'm talking of Indian national rupees in denominations of 1 kilogram, which is 1,000 grams. And when I'm talking about 60,000 rupees on gold, I'm here again not talking about troy ounces, but Indian rupees per 10 grams of gold. We do not use troy ounces on our exchanges or even in the physical markets. So our targets, as you will realize, are increasingly looking achievable, and of course silver will go there first, because like I said, if you simply Google search before trolling me, you will realize that switching systems, harnesses, etc. will use, I'm talking about 5G technology, will use silver extensively. So will solar power cells or photovoltaic cells and electric vehicles. So gold will basically be bought because of defensive and capital protective reasons, but silver will be both a defense as well as a value buy because it has industrial applications. Now, for my logic, is bullion rising or is something else happening? If you've cared to see that 1 hour 20-minute plus live session that I had on Equity Masters YouTube channel and the investor hour detailed conversation I had with Sarit and Rahul Goyal, you will realize that there's a great thought that went behind making these recommendations. And in a nutshell, I'll encapsulate what? I want you to see some more charts and some more graphics that I have prepared for you. Now look at the investing.com chart of lumber. Lumber is nothing but wood. Basically in America, typically speaking, I'm saying typically, of course variations will occur. You basically take a chainsaw, a mechanical saw, with which you cut a very long tree, preferably near a spring, and that tree is felled by a chainsaw. Unlike a manual axe which takes a lot of time, the chainsaw will cut down a tree within seconds. So you drop that tree into the falling stream, it goes downstream, and at the valley itself there will be a sawmill which will cut the wood into long pieces, and that is basically called lumber. Very simplistic. Variations, like I said, will occur, but this is the broader narration. Lumber prices have gone up 6 times, 600% in the last 12 to 13 months. And coming up on your screen now is the price chart of crude palm oil on the multi-commodity exchange, our very own Indian commodity exchange. It was 565 rupees odd last year when the markets tanked in March and April 2020. Currently, it is 1250 rupees. Now, for the uninitiated, crude palm oil is a poor man's cooking oil. If you've eaten roadside fried foods like bhajiyas or vada paos, etc., the oil that is used in making those roadside savories and snacks is crude palm oil. It's a very versatile oil. It goes into your soaps, your shampoos, your edible oils. It goes as a lubricant in your automobiles mixed with petroleum-based lubricants, of course. It is also used for doping in petrol and diesel. Therefore, it's also a biofuel. And as fuel prices rise, the price of crude palm oil is also supposed to rise in tandem. But does it justify 120, 130% rise? Does lumber justify a 600% rise? Why is this happening? And once you know the answer to that, you will realize why gold and silver are rising and why I feel that the rally has just begun. Yes, you heard that right. The rally has just begun. Now, another thing I want you to look at is the web page of the Food and Agricultural Organization. Mind you, this is not just any website. This is the food arm of the United Nations organization, as credible as it can be. Now, the Food and Agricultural Organization is talking about food inflation, which has crossed 7-year highs, which you are seeing on your screen. If you go in detail on this page, you will see the categories of foods, milk, pulses, grains, dairy products, meats, etc., how much they've inflated. Now, why is this happening? Now, in those detailed videos, I've laid down my thought process. World over, after the COVID pandemic struck, all the international central bankers started providing stimulus, and of course, that money was never there. So what the governments have started doing is running their printing presses over time. They are printing a whole lot of money and flooding it into the markets. Now, when there's a whole lot of money chasing products, that money needs profits. Otherwise, it is not justified. So there you see lumber prices. Lakdi, lumber, 600%. Are people buying that much furniture in COVID? The answer is no. Why is lumber going up? Because the purchasing power of the rupee, the dollar, the pound, the yen, the euro is falling. So are gold and silver rising? Yes, partly yes, they are rising, but mostly they are going up because the fiat currency or the paper currency is losing its value. The road ahead, I think food inflation is going to rise. I think if you were to ask somebody who's responsible for looking after the pantry and stocking up your kitchen, maybe the women folk in your house, in my case, I do it myself. Even though I have a wife and a mother, I participate in the process of going to the supermarket and buying stuff, going to the veggie market and buying stuff, because it keeps me keeps my finger on the pulse of food price inflation, which is what helps me trade. Now, if you ask whoever's in charge of your kitchen stocking, they will tell you that edible oil prices have jumped. They will tell you that grain, flour, condiments, spices, pulses have all appreciated. Which means inflation, and I call inflation the misery index, is likely to rise. And as it rises further and further, you will see gold and silver also rising. So this is a beautiful phase where the rally will be triggered by misery, and I expect the misery to go higher. So by going long on gold and silver, you're betting that human happiness will be shorter and human misery will be longer. And if the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization is to be believed, and I have no doubts that it's a credible source, I think food price inflation is likely to accelerate in the year 2021 and beyond. What about stocks? I have been cautious on stocks, and many of you have told me that I'm absolutely wrong in being cautious. I have not been bearish, I have been cautious. So I'll share my views on that. Will stock prices go up? Probably yes. Will Nifty go to 17,000? Probably yes. Who knows? But look at the way things rise. Now there is this hypothesis of a super cycle in the metals space, which is all fair. Prices are rising, but is it demand expansion, or is it rising because the dollar is losing its value in the commodity exchanges, which is where it is used as an invoicing, globally invoicing currency? If the dollar is weaker, commodity prices go higher. Very simple. That is my hypothesis for gold and silver going up anyway. So yes, metal prices are rising more because the currency is losing its purchasing power. But what happens when mean reversion occurs? Mean reversion is after a sustained period of rally, people want the prices to cool down and they stop buying. See what happened to two frontline counters in the metal space. Tata Steel, between the 12th of May 2021, not so far ago, 12th of May 2021 to 14th of May 2021, went from 1248 to 1120. Hindalco from 11th of May 2021 went from 429 to 369. And mind you, this was the star performer in the aluminium space. So what would have been a loss on one single lot of purchases on Tata Steel? Tata Steel would have given you a massive loss of 1,08,800. Hindalco would have given you a steep loss of 1,29,000. Let me assure you, we as traders, when we basically make money, we tend to run away in 3, 4, 5 rupees of a profit. But this was a bone crunching loss, and the market gave you that loss without a warning. In the case of Hindalco, it was a gap down open. In the case of Tata Steel, I was watching my screen. The fall was like a waterfall. It didn't basically give you time or chance to get out of your long position, both for futures and options traders. Am I saying that the rally in bull market is over? No, I'm not saying. I just told you, will the Nifty go to 17,000? Hey, I don't know. I'm telling you that. But what is the quality of the earning that you are going to have from the currency, the equity and the commodity market? If I was to say that by investing or trading in the equity markets, I'm going to make $1,000, but with nail-biting tension. And I could make 750 or maybe 800 rupees by investing in gold and silver. But I am peaceful. I don't need to have my eyes glued to the trading terminal. I can still go out for a walk in the park away from the terminal for an hour or so and give my body some exercise, knowing that it won't fall through the floor. I would choose the 750 rupee profit because I'm sure gold and silver are getting to targets where I am expecting them, if not higher. So I think the bull market in gold and silver is still on, and I think human misery by way of inflation is just about to get higher, which means more bullishness in gold and silver, especially silver. So keep holding on to your long-term investments. I promise to update you as and when more data warranties such an update. My bullish view remains in place. I would think that end of December 21 and end of December 22 targets are conservative in nature and they will be achieved. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for hearing me out. Before signing out, I would remind you to click like on this video if you liked what you saw. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. Click on the bell icon to receive instant alerts for fresh videos being put up out there. In the comment section, love, hate, abuse, anything you wish to rain on me is always welcome. And help me reach out fellow like-minded traders by recommending my video to your family and friends. Have a very, very profitable day ahead. Vijay Bambwani signing off for now. Thank you for watching. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my free email newsletter, Fast Profits Daily, and get my free guide, How to Trade Markets Like a Pro.